Welcome back, everybody, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're celebrating something in the crypto space where we can all celebrate, hopefully, a good event. And that good event happened last night. It was the Ethereum merge. Now, you've heard me as being a critic on Ethereum, and I still am critical of this process, but we need to, today, we take a breather because it seemed to have gone well. So, first off, what am I talking about? Let me share my screen really briefly if you're not familiar with it. This happened last night, and Google was tracking. It was the Ethereum merge, and it was when and you can see last night there were two pandas running toward each other, and then they were monitoring the difficulty. And the difficulty's gone up and up, and I'll explain that in a moment. But there was lots of people tracking this overnight, like it was a major event, almost like it was a Bitcoin halvening, and that's where the analogy ends because it basically like the hope was like much like when the Bitcoin halvening happens that it goes smoothly, and this seemed to go smoothly overnight. Now, in my mind, I think people are just having way too much elation over it, but there was this story from Cointelegraph. Of course, they have to cover it, but historic day for crypto is Ethereum merge to proof of stake occurs, and they're celebrating like I saw on Instagram that it's complete, and they are euphoric, and they said that the proof of stake consensus mechanism that they have, for those who don't know, this is the merge is when they had two different blockchains running at the same time. The original Ethereum, the original Ethereum, I guess the original Ethereum is really Ethereum Classic. That's why I hesitate. But like the present day Ethereum that's been running for years, and now this proof of stake, which was so the Ethereum was proof of work. It had miners, and you have mining coins, much like Bitcoin, and there was lots of energy consumption to run all those miners, all those computers. Then there was a proof of stake where you had to have at least 32 Ethereum and you committed your coins, much like a staking algorithm for a lot of different projects. They moved to proof of stake. It's more modern. It consumes less energy. You don't need the computers to mine. You just have the coins and you pledge them to the network to create nodes all over the planet, decentralized that way, rather than having physical computers all over the place. So, but what's never happened is that there's never been a chain that went from proof of work to proof of stake. So Ethereum, what they did was they made this beta chain and they were testing it with this chain with proof of stake, kind of running it in parallel with the original. And last night was when they merged together. Now I was critical of it because they were still changing code a couple weeks before the end date, which is something you don't want to do. You want to be testing thoroughly before you do it, but seemed to go well, and everybody's celebrating it this morning. And there's lots of talk about it. Even Charles Hoskinson made a video last night that he shared on Twitter, and I think it was on Instagram as well, congratulating the team for. I'm sure it was a lot of stress, a lot of hard hours, and everything, but they got it done, and it looks like it's okay. But okay, but all right. So, and I'll get to the button in a minute. But here's the when everybody's talking about the merge. The proof of stake does reduce the amount of energy consumption because again, you don't need the computers to mine, and it happened roughly. They'll give you the time and the block, but what was doing? I'll go back to the other tab. It was like a little bit of an elegant solution, I think, which is that they kept making it harder and harder to earn coins from miners. So when it's hard to earn coins uh, from Ethereum, the miners are less. They have less incentive to mine because they're still expending the same amount of effort, energy, and running the computer, but they're getting less and less reward. So when you get less and less reward, your monetary incentive decreases and saying like, well, I shouldn't mine this anymore. So naturally, you move from proof of work to proof of stake, and the proof of stake dominates. Now, I have been critical of this in the past, and let me drop out of sharing my screen here, and let me go over my notes and just talk about. I've talked about what it is, and let me tell you what it doesn't do. It does not reduce the gas fees on Ethereum. That happens in another step later on, which I think they call colloquially, easy for me to say, the common name for it is the purge. And I think we just did the merge, and there's going to be the purge, and that's going to be like to really make it more, more deflationary, reduce the fees, expand the bandwidth, that kind of thing. But that they didn't want to bite off more than they could chew, which they had been chewing on this for years. But they finally got the merge done. So now we got the merge done, and we've gone from proof of work to proof of stake. Hopefully, there's no bugs. But I'm telling you right now that I guarantee somewhere in the world, probably in several places, there are people trying to find hacks and holes and bugs and things to exploit in the new blockchain and the new system because They made changes late, and normally when you make software, and we talked about this on my AMA last night. I'll try to link that up here. I'll also try to link the other videos I've done on Ethereum in the past couple weeks, how this could be a black swan event, and how, what coins could be a benefit if it is. But for today, we're congratulating. I congratulate the whole team for getting this done. Nice job. Seems to be going well, but we shouldn't be celebrating too early because it just launched. It's just working now. And I'm sure that there's plenty of hackers out there looking for something that they can manipulate and get somebody's Ethereum or get somebody's other ERC20 or NFT or something running on the Ethereum blockchain. That is a gap that the testers didn't check or see, because when you change code a couple weeks before you're done and you release, you should go through what they call an entire regression suite or a system test. And that usually takes weeks, maybe even months to do, depending on how big the project is. And considering the amount of monetary value that's pledged to the Ethereum network and the number of projects that are in Ethereum, I've lost count of how many projects there are on that rely on the Ethereum blockchain. For now, I celebrate this and I think it's great, but I'm telling you that just like I don't want to make the comparisons to other projects that have had issues, but there's been many projects that have had problems and they didn't have the problem on day one. But like several times later or several months later, somebody finds a hole in the system, tests it themselves, make sure they can exploit it, and then they just hammer it, and all of a sudden things break. Now, I really hope that that doesn't happen to Ethereum, because that will be a huge black swan event, as I mentioned in the videos I mentioned above. And it will be a black eye for all of crypto, because Ethereum is such a big player, represents so many different projects, so many different, so much value in the entire crypto space. I'd argue probably a third or so of crypto is probably tied to Ethereum in some way, between DeFi, NFTs, ERC20 projects running on that blockchain. It's a big deal. Maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 35%. I don't know. If you know the number, put in the comments. Love to read that. But it's a big deal no matter what. The second largest project by far. Tether might be comparable in their market cap, but really it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then everybody else. The fact that Ethereum got this done after years and a lot of hard work, great job. But don't think we're out of the woods yet. Like when you're do a new release, like how many times have you updated your phone and all of a sudden there's a bug that happens a couple weeks later, or you hear about a recall for whatever reason. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I hope it doesn't. But if it does, I wouldn't be surprised. And at that point, that's when the other video that I have, and I keep pointing up here, but the other videos I have that say, what if there's a problem for Ethereum? Well, there's other layer ones that could step in, that could really help out. And I've talked about them in another video, and I'll, look at the top 50 and find which ones that you like, that have solid blockchains, and they can support smart contracts or DeFi or NFTs or all the above. Anything from Atom to Matic to Cardano, Polkadot. I'm not Tezos. I'm not a fan of Solana, but the platform could do it. Zilliqa is just out of the top 50, but I like that project too. To a lesser extent, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Digibyte. They do have their own blockchains, but they're not really supporting of all these different features that Ethereum already has. I would say Cardano, Polkadot, Matic, Theta, those, and Atom, Cosmos. Those are probably my top 5 that would be ready to support these things. Zilliqa's close second to that group of 5, and Divi's not too far behind either. But you've got to have but eventually, when crypto gets to be a much bigger instrument in the economic world, the financial world, because we all know that we need trustless systems. We need an answer, and blockchain seems to be the answer. So we hope that we don't have yet another black eye in crypto like we had with other products earlier this year, and that things go well. So cross your fingers, hope they still test it, and hopefully they find bugs before other people do and exploit holes, because inevitably there's a bug. That's part of the problem. So hopefully all the smart contracts go smoothly, all the NFTs hold their value, all the DeFi works well. I'm right there with them, but I'm a cautiously optimistic kind of guy when it comes to Ethereum. We'll also see how it reflects in the price too. But for today, I celebrate Ethereum getting this done. Congratulations on the merge. Hope it continues to go well. So, and these are kind of things that we'll play the what if game, on our AMA down in Dallas at EconomicPreppers. Hope to see you there as well. So, with all that said today, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, say file leader one more time, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.